How are we? How are we? Hello everyone. Welcome back to another deadline stream. That is the wrong screen. It is game week 13. It is free hit week. Of course, my free hit is finally active. I finally made some transfers this morning. About an hour before the stream, I was like, I can't go onto the stream still having to make all my transfers. So I was like, let me start making some. We'll talk through the draft. This is not, I repeat, a final draft. I didn't want to sell Semenyo because I knew there was a small chance that I would go with him on free hit. I don't think I will, but I didn't want to sell him because I've got loads of value tied up in him. And I don't think I'm going to go with the double Villa defense, but that is where we're at. I didn't want to sell Semenyo because of the value that I tied up in him, because there's a small chance that I went with him on free hit, so I didn't want to take him out. The free hit is active, as you can see there, but before we talk about the draft, before we talk about all of the players, before we talk about your teams and your questions, first of all, good morning to you all. I hope you are doing very well. Thank you all very much for joining on this Saturday lunchtime, a little bit of a later stream, but if you could say hello in the chat, let me know where you're watching from, and yeah, we'll do our usual rounds of hellos. Hello to FPL Vert, hello to Ewan, hello to Xander, hello to Leonardo, hello to Cotton, hello to Jordan, who else have we got? Hello to Adrian, good morning to Dan, hello to Sanderpan, hello to John, hello to Jen, Mitch, Azor, James, Wade, Paul, and to all the other members and moderators in this morning. Good morning and good afternoon to all of you, and thank you all especially for your support of the channel, and to everyone else, to Andy, Noel, Elmo, Ngolo, Bob, AA, Gamer, Run, Messi 10 FPL, Jesse, Ivan, Hermano, hello to Adam, hello to Thomas, Durban, Big Man, hello to Anish, Amar, Odin, Isabel, Richard, Simon, Huzi, Liu, and FPL Nonayan, Noni, Yoga, Jason, Rizima, Starboy, Yusuf, Emino, and Darren. And to all the others, hello and thank you very much for joining. I hope you are doing well. I feel like my lights are not quite bright enough. You're seeing the corners. Yeah, it's definitely turned down a little bit. Now it's quite bright. Anyway, hello. So, free hit is active. Free hit is played. Do I feel comfortable with it? Absolutely not, I think, is the conclusion of do I feel comfortable with my free hit? No, because that's the joy, downfall, benefit, side effect of playing a free hit in a single game week, right? Because you are free hitting out very good players, and actually players that you trust more long term because they're the ones actually in your team, and you're buying players who you don't trust. The data is not as good, but they have a better fixture. That is basically the premise of a free hit in a single game week. And as a result, you never are going to feel entirely comfortable with playing the chip. And Mr. Carps, well, there we go for the first time. Anyway, so as a result, you're never going to feel entirely comfortable unless you get to a week where like Haaland was out, and with the rest midweek, the chance of Haaland not starting a game between now and Christmas, particularly with 13, 14, 15 being the congested period, just dropped even further. So as a result, I don't feel entirely comfortable with the free hit, but it is here nonetheless. And this is currently where the draft is at. I'm almost certain I won't go with Semenyo, and I don't think I will go with Luca Dean. Those are probably the two spots that I'm looking at the most. Potentially also the Kelleher spot. Like, I could end up with Martinez in goal. I've got just enough money to go down your Munoz in that Luca Dean spot as the draft suggested. I've then only got the triple captain left, which is planned for game week 17 for Haaland at home to West Ham. The other benefit, slight benefit to me in 17, is we think that Marmoush will have gone to AFCON, which means Haaland is more likely to play 90 during that period. Whereas, like, if they're 3-0 up today, is there a chance that Marmoush comes on for Haaland? Potentially. But if you have the triple captaincy, and you're not playing the free hit this week, I would now triple captain Haaland at home to Leeds. If you're not playing a chip and you've got the triple captain, I think I would play it. Leeds are without Longstaff and without Antoine Stack, so their midfield will be weaker than we are normally expecting, even when they've been so bad so far this season. And he had a rest midweek along with a lot of the other Manchester City attackers, which means there should be a pretty full-strength lineup for Pep going into Leeds at home. I think it is a great week to target Manchester City players against Leeds. Now, whether you want to do that as part of a free hit or whether you want to do that as part of the triple captain, but if you're going into this week with Leeds at home with just a captaincy on Erling Haaland and no other City players, there is going to be an awful lot of ownership on them. Anyway, let's start with a poll of a chip. While I'm writing that, if you could drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you are new. Are you playing a chip? Triple captain, free hit, wild cards. I'm going to put no, bench, boost, or no chip. Oh no, I'm just going to do no chip and I'll put bench boost in with wild card. Let's see. Yes, free hits. Free hit for me. Yeah, I'm almost certain Semenyo won't stay. I think any Liverpool fans in the chat, do you expect any changes to the starting lineup? Like, actually expect changes? Because I have the money to go. I mean, we can have a look at it, right? Let me get it up. And I'll show you what the plan is. Oh, I've already got it. Okay. So the plan is to go with Gakpo in there. Then do Luka Dean to Munoz. And then just cheap the bench, right? And then go Esteve in here. Esteve will be my only playing bench player, is the only thing. That's the only thing. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not a huge fan of a few of the picks on it, if I'm honest. Like, I don't love Gakpo. 3 goals, 2 assists, but 2 bonus points to go with it. His minutes look pretty good, though. I've got nothing in the bank. I can't afford Reinildo. He's 4 million. I don't love Rodgers. The data is disappointing. The returns are also disappointing. That week just gone was the only week so far this season that he's actually picked up bonus points. And he averages 0.16 XGI per 90, which is not good. Kevin Schade, his XGI is slightly better in 0.36. It's really Gakpo Rodgers that I don't feel entirely comfortable with. Daniel Marlin, the issue with Marlin is, his minutes. I do think he'll probably start, but the issue is he's not nearly as good when he plays with Watkins. He's so good when he plays up front on his own, but like we saw on Thursday night, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think that's going to happen. Welbeck is an interesting punt. Yeah, I'm open to punts in those couple of positions. I've seen a few people in the chat already talking about Gibbs White, and I like Gibbs White as a pick, a home fixture. I just think it's that we don't know he's fully available. Like, he's not 100% guaranteed to play. He's not 100% guaranteed. Szoboszlai is the one I'm interested in, but is Szoboszlai a better pick than Gakpo. The thing with Szoboszlai is if he gets a return, his bonus is really good. Like, I mean, he's had 7 bonus so far this season. He often, like, gets a big return when he gets a return. And he's probably going to play in the 10. So that's I would love Szoboszlai. If he's going to play in the 10, I might end up doing it. But the only thing as well, with the injuries that they've got, if Gakpo's also going to play 90, I then feel a little bit more likely to go with him. I can't afford Isak. To do Isak, I'd do Gakpo. I think I'd have to do Gakpo, Rodgers to... it would be these 3 out. And I'd go Isak, Anderson, and I don't even know if I can afford it. No, I can't. I'd have to drop Munoz as well. I can't afford Isak, really. John McGinn as a punt on free hit. Yeah, I don't mind it. Callum Wilson. So if you want to go for a West Ham player because you genuinely think they'll beat Liverpool, then absolutely do it. I still think the majority of us, if we had to pick who wins that game, we'd still probably say Liverpool. So... yeah. What about 4 at the back then? I could, but I could do that, but I'm probably, not going to. Bin off Salah and go for Isak instead. Yeah, that is possible, but I think Salah's probably still better than Isak. I mean, Isak's done nothing to warrant being picked anyway. I mean, Salah's not been fantastic, but at least he's been better than Isak. Salah's not worth the money. I agree, normally, but on free hit, I don't think it massively hinders my squad. Like, the only player that I think I'm not owning that I would consider because I own Salah is Isak. And I think Salah's better than Isak. It's basically Salah versus Isak, so... Watkins is a differential, absolutely. You could go there if you've got the money for it. Yeah, absolutely. What about Elliot Anderson? I really like him. If you're going for like an Isak or you're going for something where you need a cheap mid, Elliot Anderson is the one I would go with. And if I wasn't on wildcard, free hit this week, he is probably the top midfielder I'd look to buy this week. He's right up there in all of my rankings. I think he's my top differential this week. I really like him long term, and I've got a lot of plans for my team going forward that involve buying Elliot Anderson in either 15 or 16. Now, the only issue with leaving it to that point is the Forest fixtures over the next couple are quite good. But he just is doing everything we thought he would do at the start of the season more consistently now. Now, back-to-back assists makes it look better than it maybe would do, but he's great at 5-3. He's really, really good at 5-3. Foden won't start. I think he probably will. I think the City team, I mean, I might end up being proven very wrong. But I think the City team feels reasonably easy to predict based off the minutes that they all played midweek. What are my thoughts on Donnarumma? I think it's absolutely fine. I do think in a week where the City lineup basically all got rested midweek and it's easier to predict who's going to play, the safety of Donnarumma on a free hit isn't needed as much. But if you're not on free hit, I think he was my second in my goalkeepers to buy, or he's right up there as well. What would be my third free hit striker? Probably Watkins or Welbeck. Probably Watkins. If I had to go for a front three, probably Watkins, Welbeck, maybe Mateta. One of those, probably. Donnarumma, if you're not on free hit, is a safe option. Matheus Nunes is also one that you can have a look at playing right back. Yeah, I like Matheus Nunes as a bit of a differential with everyone going O'Reilly. O'Reilly's attacking threat is just definitely better, like when you look at the data as well. Ben, let me take a look. Thank you for all the super chats as well. Start Tarkowski, Senesi, also Enzo and Dye. So most of those are in the benching ranking. I'd play Tarkowski and Ndai. I'd play the 2 home fixtures. If you don't want to double up on Everton, I'd be more inclined to bench Tarkowski out the 2. Which 2 should I start out of Timber, Lacroix, Senesi and Minter? Minter definitely starts. And I probably, let me check. I think I've got Lacroix above. Lacroix's not in that one. Who was the other one? Senesi. Oh, did I leave Senesi out of the benching ranking? That wasn't a very good idea, was it? Where was he in it? Let me check where I put him in it. 1 second. He was below Timber and above Richards. Okay. Let me just put him instead of Enzo for now. Cool. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, so Senesi probably and Minter. But if you want, I think that the game this week that you need to have a look at and understand yourself on how you feel about it is the Arsenal game. Because there's lots of different perspectives. I think Arsenal will probably win, but it's also whether you expect it to be a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game. And if you think that Arsenal win and it's low-scoring, then still own and definitely start your Arsenal defenders. I'm just hoping that Chelsea score and then the clean sheet isn't worth it. Isn't there for some of those players. And Burmo and Dango or Gakpo and Sharda on free hit. I think Gakpo and Sharda, I think. Is it possible to go Isak and Saka and Palmer without Salah? I don't think Palmer will start. I know Maresca said he's available and he can start, but I don't think he will. I think it's too big a game to throw a player in who's not started a game, or started one game of football really this season. One Prem game, apart from the United game, which he went off after a very quick amount of time. I don't think Palmer will start. I would not have Palmer on a free hit. Thoughts on going a Brentford triple up in attack? Yeah, I don't mind that. You could go with Kevin Sharda and Dango over going with Semenyo. The only thing with that is you do just need them to score a lot of goals for it to work out. Like if you've got 3 of them, I mean, if they score and you get a goal and an assist, let's say you get 3 returns from the 3, you'd probably be fine with that, even if you don't get necessarily one of them blanks and one gets 2 returns, one gets 1 and 1 blanks. As long as you've got all the returns, you're probably happy enough with that. So I'm not completely against it, but they are right up there in terms of clean sheets as well. Yeah, so they're 43. They're joint for clean sheets along with Villa and City. But you could go for the Villa defence and the Brentford attack. Because I would say I prefer the Brentford attack to the Villa attack. So, yeah, I'm not against it. Why not Watkins? He's just slightly too expensive. He's only scored 1 goal in 16 for Villa. His form in front of goal is not great, but the Villa fans are practically pushing him into the goal with how much they want him to score. But, yeah. Ben Teckers, let me take a look. You've got Pope, Virgil van Dijk, O'Reilly. That is your team. Benches Dubravka, free hit 13 or free hit 16. You've already got O'Reilly and you've already got Thiago, free hit 16. I think my general point is if you've got a couple of players in your team that you think are on the sort of free hit template, like let's say you've already got Thiago and you've already got one of the other big players that's part of the free hit, then I don't think you need to play it. That's my thought process really, is if you've already got a couple of them, I wouldn't force the free hit this week, I don't think. So yeah, if you've got Thiago and you've got another one, whether it's a Munoz, whether it's an O'Reilly, whether it's one of the midfielders, I didn't have anyone. Like I didn't have Munoz, I had Richards, I didn't have Thiago. I made 10 changes. Haaland is the only player with Dubravka and Mark Guiu that are still in my squad for my pre-free hit team. Whereas if you're making less changes, then you can potentially save it. So a few of you also asking about free hit versus triple captain. I think the free hit is the one you should prioritize more. I think game week 15 at home to Sunderland and also game week 17 at home to West Ham are similar levels of triple captain. But if this is the best week for you to free hit, then you should prioritize that. But if this is not your best week to free hit, then I probably would triple captain it instead. So think about the free hit first, because there are other opportunities to very easily play the triple captain. There might not be another opportunity for you to very easily play the free hit. Because if I show you what my team looked like, let me get it again. If anyone is still in the boat of making that decision. So this was what my lineup looked like this week. Next week, it looks fine. I don't need it. Game week 15, I'll have 2 free transfers here, right? And that's worth bearing in mind, that I'll have to make at least 2 transfers to upgrade this team. And already, right, I've got Anderson, Van Dijk, I've got Enzo against Bournemouth, Semenyo, Saka, Bruno, Haaland, Mateta. Like, it's fine. But there's also less fixtures to target in 15, I would say. Like, you could go more City at home to Sunderland. Yep, you could do that. Like, Liverpool away at Leeds. Like, 15 could have worked for me, potentially. But I think my team looks all right. Game week 16, I don't need it. Like, that's the other big week. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Let me start again. Game week 13, it looked all right. That's this week. Game week 14, I definitely don't need it. Game week 15, maybe I could have used it, but I'll have 2 free transfers I've got to use that week to play it, to save the free hit. Game week 16 is the week that other people are looking at, but I'll have 2 frees in game week 15 to improve the team. And then I've got 5 more to potentially, like, I might, like, Saar won't be there. Saar will be someone better. I'm actually looking at this, like game week 15, doing Saar to Elliot Anderson. Where is he? 5-3. And like Senesi to Timber. And doubling up on the Arsenal defence. It means buying double Arsenal away at Villa, which isn't perfect. But I've got to use the transfers. Then game week 16, it will be about buying Thiago. And it might just be Mateta to Thiago. Mateta to Thiago. And that would give me money to do Richards to Munoz. So that's what I'm looking at for 15, 16. And then that's what my team looks like. I'm not actually certain Munoz gets in my lineup in 16. So I could save it a week, depending on how his yellow card looks. But that's something like that. Semenyo, I'm undecided on whether I plan on keeping long term. We also got a bit distracted. So that will be my team in this week. I don't think it particularly needs a free hit. 16, I definitely don't think I need a free hit. 17, again, with loads of transfers, Thiago would start over Rodon. I would say I definitely don't need a free hit. 18, again, without making any transfers, I would say I almost certainly don't need a free hit. Semenyo, Bruno, Saka, Enzo, Thiago, Haaland, and then 19 potentially. But again, I've got a pretty fine looking team, I think, there. So that's the current plan. So basically the plan for me is to buy Elliot Anderson. Is to buy Elliot Anderson as a cheaper option to some of the slightly more expensive mids to allow me to get all the defenders I want. And the other big question I've got going forward is, do I buy Thiago as a third forward, or do I sell Mateta to do it? But basically, do I sell Mateta to Thiago, or do I sell Semenyo or Enzo to Thiago? Semenyo, Enzo, or Mateta, one of the 3 of them has got to go for Thiago, and it's which of the 3 it's going to be. Interested to know which of those 3 you'd been, Enzo, Semenyo, or Mateta. If I'm buying new now, I'd buy Elliot Anderson over Sarr. Spurs mids, probably not. I don't think they score enough goals. People are looking at Paulinia, but probably not for me. This would be in game week 15 or 16. People saying Enzo. I'm really reluctant to sell Enzo. I think he's the most likely of all the Chelsea players to play all the games. People think his minutes are not always 90. He's playing more minutes than Mateta is. His data's great. He's averaging 0.65 XGI per 90. Now, if you take out the penalty he took, it drops very slightly, but I don't know. At the moment, the plan is to sell Mateta, but we'll see. We'll see. It's one of those three. And of course, Enzo is the cheapest, right? So it's easier if I don't sell Enzo. Like, I can get to more things. Yeah, I can get to more things if I sell the others. So it's likely to be Semenyo or Mateta, I think. Why Foden over Doku? I just think with the weaknesses that Leeds have got in the centre of midfield, that there's going to be more joy for City there. And I feel like Foden's more likely to score, as Doku's assist potential is probably better. I know he's only got 2 returns so far this season, Foden, but also he's more likely to play 90, I think, which is always a slight boost. So I don't think there's that much in it. And if you are short of value and you're not certain on where to downgrade, Doku over Foden could easily be the better pick, not just a way to free up money, could easily just be the better pick. Similarly, someone asking 1234M is asking why Foden over Cherki. Cherki could easily be the other one as well. His minutes are even less reliable than you get from Doku though. Triple City attack, is it worth it? Again, it's a very reasonable possibility, yeah. Yeah. Am I only going Salah because of pens? No, I still think Salah is the most likely Liverpool player to score in any game. I know it's not been the case. Well, I would say it's not been the case this season, but I would still say it has been the case this season. I'm not sure anyone has been reliable in terms of goal output. I think if I had to predict a Liverpool player to score this week, I think Salah would still be top. So yeah, lots of questions about Daniel Marlin. So the thing for me, Marlin is particularly good when he plays up front on his own. But Watkins is almost certain to start. Now, that doesn't mean that Marlin won't start. But it likely means he'll play on the wing. And although it means he probably will start, he's not nearly as good when he plays out there compared to playing up front. No, I've got Semenyo in my draft at the moment because I'm not 100% that I won't go with him. So I didn't want to take him out because as soon as he goes out, I can't afford to bring him back. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything in the bank, or I have very little. I'm going to change this draft anyway because I don't think I'm going to go with Semenyo. Is Luca Dean better than Munoz this week? No. So the plan is to go with Munoz probably over Luca Dean. That's probably the plan. I don't know how I feel about that final defender spot on Munoz versus Dean. Munoz probably better, but there is that recency bias that it's because he scored 14 points last week that he definitely looks better. I haven't ruled out going Van Dijk as well. I haven't ruled out going Van Dijk. West Ham are dreadful from set pieces. Absolutely dreadful. Munoz has only not returned in 3 out of 12 games this season. Munoz is the pick. I probably will end up there because I feel like Palace is the team that I worry the most about. and it's just a way of sort of covering the attack and the defense a little bit. Like, that's the benefit of Munoz, and I want to buy him. I was the first. Well, I wasn't the first. I was early on him last season. I took that -8 to buy him when he was suspended, and I loved owning him, and I now just hate every week not owning him. Is recency bias on Rodgers? Surely a little bit. He's probably the best Villa player. The other one is Buendia, but I don't think we can reliably say his minutes are good enough. I don't think we can reliably say his minutes are good enough. Like 70, 45. His output is really good, but Rodgers is just the most safe. Safe. Oh, by the way, I think also, right. I have 5 memberships left to give away this month at the base tier. And so I've only got like 2 days to do it. So this is the last stream to do it. And I'm going to do it now because I want to say thank you to all of you who come in early to the stream. So 5 of you are about to get the base tier memberships where you just get the sort of stream benefit chats and emojis and that sort of stuff. So I will send the 5 out now. But again, I normally do this towards the deadline, but I wanted to do it now as a sort of gifting of memberships because I want people who are in here early to have more of a chance of doing it. So let me do that. And it will say who gets them. We have a winner for Soham. Dylan. Oh no, Soham received a gifted membership. Luca Cruz. This is Diev, Brandon, Max, and Soham. Congratulations. Right. Where were we? Opinions on Saka on a free hit. If you think Arsenal win against Chelsea and win, then own them. I think they probably will win, but I also don't know reliably where the points are going to come from. Why am I trusting the defence for Brentford? So I think they're actually 4th for XGC recently. It might even be over the season. I've got the data somewhere. Their season XGC data is actually pretty good. Similarly for Villa. Where are we? Yeah, so Brentford are 6th over the season, but actually 2nd over the last 6 for expected goals conceded. And Aston Villa are 6th over the last 6, but 12th over the season. So 2 of the defences that we're looking to back are actually massively improved recently. Now, it's not even that they've played difficult teams, right? Easy teams. This is the data. They've Brighton, Newcastle, Palace, Liverpool, West Ham, City. They are 2nd for XGC in that time. Conceded 0.42 to Newcastle, 0.7 to Palace, 2.3 to Liverpool, 0.3 there, 0.8 there. Their defensive data has actually massively improved over the past few weeks. So that's why we're going with one of them. And Villa the same. Their defensive data has improved. And even though they've played some pretty tough games, they have improved as well. So, like, if you look at Matty Cash, like, it's not as good, but still 0.3 to Burnley, 0.7 to Spurs, 1.1 to City, 1.1 to Liverpool, 1.6 to Bournemouth. Okay, 1.7 to Leeds last week is not the best, but it is improved. I probably won't end up with a double up, so we can probably make those changes because I'm not going to go Semenyo, am I? And I'm not going to go Dean. Let's put Gakpo in for now because that's probably all I can afford. And then Stev. Which 3.9 defender should I have? Who's the exciting 3.8 defender? Sort by price. Oh, he's the only one who gets on the next page, so it's got to be him. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go Semenyo on free hit, I don't think. I'm not going to go Semenyo, I don't think. All the Man United fans in the chat. Dean to Munoz, Danso, and Semenyo out, yeah. Cool. So that gives me this. With nothing in the bank. Yeah. It is the Gakpos and Munoz spots that I'm still not certain of. I would love a bit of Szoboszlai, Yeah, I don't mind the Munoz spot, actually. I'm fine with him. It's the Gakpo spot. It's Szoboszlai, it's Gibbs White, it's Anderson, it's Stango Tara, it's Declan Rice. There are a lot of those in there. How likely do we get City leagues? So the City leagues have been weird this season. They've basically not been there apart from when we need them from an FPL point of view. So it's like they keep them and they don't do it in weeks that it's not as relevant for them to do it. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that we might get something before the deadline. Of course, City are the joint early kickoff. But it won't be everyone. It might just be a couple of players and we might not get anything. I hope they don't. What would be really annoying is if they leak someone random. Like, let's say Marmoush started, right? And they put Marmoush in. That makes so many of the other picks weaker because it's trying to predict where he's gonna play. O'Reilly, I can't see O'Reilly not starting. Aït-Nouri is not in favour, and he got hooked at half time in the Champions League. But could he then say, well, Luke reckons Reinders is going to start? I haven't looked at Luke's tweets this morning. Has he done a lineup? Has he predicted it? He's got Reinders in over Silva. If you still own Reinders, it's really difficult. It's really hard if you still own Reinders. Yeah. That's a really difficult one to call. He's one that I actually think would be really useful for a lot of people to get a leak on. Because if Reinders... If we got a Reinders league... Hang on. Could I do Foden to Reinders and go Isak over Gakpo? Oh, I can't. I'm short. Fair. But if you've got Reinders in your team... I would be... Yeah, I'd be waiting before I decide. Well, I would decide what I'm going to do if he starts benched or we don't get any news. But I would wait until we get it because, yeah, he could well start. And then that would change everything if you own Reinders. White Isak, Ekitike out. Ekitike went off with a back injury midweek. He's not ruled out, though. That's the only thing. Vert isn't fully ruled out either, which does also make me wonder about Szoboszlai over Gakpo. Because Szoboszlai is just safer, right? Double Liverpool feels optimistic. Oh, 100%. Based off recent performances, I completely get why people think double Liverpool attack is crazy. The Gakpo spot, I'm fully open to suggestions. I'm really tempted by Szoboszlai. If Szoboszlai's playing in the 10 and Wirtz is back in the squad, then I would probably go Szoboszlai. It's just the risk that Wirtz isn't back, so Gakpo plays a lot of minutes, and Szoboszlai could play at right back, although I think it will be Jones. Sarr is possible, but I don't think I'm going to go Sarr. I'm only going one Palace. I'm not doubling up there. Gibbs White is probably expected to start. I'm not sure I trust it enough on free hit to go there, though. Game is tomorrow. We probably do expect him back, but they have a lot of games in quick succession. So if he's anywhere not 100%, then he won't. But I think he probably will. I can't afford Bruno. Gakpo at his price is the most expensive I can afford. Yeah. I fully say, like, in your free hit, you should definitely have a punt that you're, like, really excited about. I'm not sure I particularly have it at the moment, which is why I look at that Gakpo spot. But it's also one of those that when you've got the exact money in a free hit to be able to afford the exact team. Okay, technically I have 0.1 spare because I could do a Stev to a 3.8. But I basically have maxed out my team value to the max, to the top that I can get it to. And there's something about that makes you feel like, yeah, I've got the right team because I've got and spent every single penny that I can. Yes, if you haven't already, thank you very much for joining. There are 6,000 of you in who haven't liked the stream, and we're only 300 likes away from 1,000. So if you could drop a like, that would be fantastic. There have also been a few super chats, so let me take a look. Why not Barnes on free hit? Just that Newcastle away from home have not been as good. I still trust the Everton defence, so I'm not sure he's got that same haul potential, but I don't hate him as a pick. If you add him on free hit, I'd have no issue with it. You could go Eze and Gakpo spot if I wanted to. True, but if I'm backing against Arsenal, it's just, yeah. It's going to feel horrible when Chelsea lose. When we lose like 2-0 to Arsenal on Sunday, and I'm already on a red arrow going into the game because the free hit is completely blanked, then, yeah, it's going to feel fantastic. But, yeah, Mo and Sharda or Saka and Fernandes, free hit Gakpo and both. I mean, I'd probably go Mo and Sharda on a free hit, but play 2 from the 5. Anderson of Fulham, Mukiele, Xhaka, Enzo, Bowen. I wouldn't play Anderson. Definitely not. I wouldn't play Mukiele. And so Bowen I'd play, and then it's just Enzo or Xhaka. I'd probably be more inclined to play Xhaka. Who to bench? Richard, Senesi, Keane, or Van Dijk? Probably Richard's out of those. Like, as much as we think Palace will beat United, I think he's probably the weakest. It could be Senesi, though. I'd play Keane and Van Dijk. Kelleher and Dean, or Martinez and Vandenberg. Maybe Martinez, Vandenberg, although it's about $1 million or $500,000 more expensive, so it depends if you can afford it. Like, I can't make that swap. Possible to go Isak and Sacrum. Yeah, we've done. Cool. You're not free hitting. You're happy with your team. Would I do Foden in, Barnes in, Reinders out, Grealish out? Also, can afford to João Pedro to Thiago, but would be a -4. I would do João Pedro to Thiago as a priority. Like Grealish to Barnes, I don't think you particularly need unless it frees up any money. Reinders to Foden, let's wait on team news, because if Reinders starts, you don't need to make that one either. I think João Pedro to Thiago is actually the biggest priority there, because I think Chelsea will rotate against Leeds. I don't think there's any guarantee that João Pedro starts against Leeds. Now, if he doesn't start against Arsenal, then maybe, but I think he'll start Arsenal and he might not start Leeds. So, any crazy news in the past couple of hours? No, nothing to report at the moment. Team news, if we get any, won't be until right up until the deadline. But yeah, we haven't had anything crazy so far. Yes, this is where we're at on the free hit. This is where we're at. This is the draft I basically had all week. As soon as I decided to put... I did a draft very early on before the game week, and I had more Liverpool, and then they disappointed. And then this is basically where I went to, and I haven't changed it since, and I feel reluctant to change it much. To change it much between now and then. I think it's probably only the Gakpo spot. Munoz to Luca Dean and Gakpo to Bruno. I just don't think I'm going to own Bruno. I don't think so. It's interesting that people haven't liked me owning Bruno, but then they want him to be in my free hit. Sobo does take a lot of shots. If you think Liverpool will score from a set piece, why not take Sobo? Because Gakpo and Salah have also been taking corners. Szoboszlai is not the only one taking corners at the moment. You think Liverpool away form maybe better than home due to the locker room feels. Fair enough. And also the crowd atmosphere. When a team is under pressure, sometimes playing away from home is better than playing at home. I could go Martinez and then I'd have to drop Munoz to like Collins. Gakpo XGI is really good in the past 6. 0.41 against Forest, 0.17, 0.3, 0.52, 0.16, Yeah. It's either him or Szoboszlai, I think. I don't think there's anyone else that I'm really going to put in there. Elliot Anderson is the one that I want, but I don't think he's necessarily a free hit pick. Although Elliot Anderson could be just the cheap option, but I don't need that money particularly. Van der Ven to Timber or upgrade Caicedo to a 6.5 and below mid. Again, I think if I'm buying a midfielder this week and I've got up to 7 million, I'm buying Minter or I'm buying Elliot Anderson. I am not buying anyone else. If that was my team, those would be the top 2 mids that I'd look to buy. And I'd argue that actually Elliot Anderson would do more for my team than maybe Minter would. So, Munoz or Vandenberg. I mean, I'd want a Brentford defender. So I actually had this when I was on the FPL show yesterday. We did a ranking of the best defenders to own on free hit. And I was like, I had Collins in my list over Munoz. And then the producer asked me, you'd own Collins over Munoz? I'm like, no, I wouldn't own Collins over Munoz, but I would make sure I had a Brentford defender on my free hit. I'd want both. Now, Munoz is better than Collins, but I would definitely want a Brentford defender as part of that free hit. So Munoz is great because he combines an all right clean sheet potential, goal threat, assist threat, probably better than you get from Collins. But I would want a Brentford, I'd want triple Brentford on my free hit somewhere. Everyone's playing free hit because it's a week where our normal teams don't have amazing fixtures and there are good fixtures for players that we don't have, basically. If the thing is, if you could trust Liverpool, which we can't, but if you could, this would be a great week for free hit. There would be no debate at all about whether this was a good free hit week or not if we could trust Liverpool. But we can't. And you could just keep your free hit until there's a week where you feel like you can trust Liverpool. And then it looks even better. Gakpo to Mbermo, Kelleher to Verbruggen, and Munoz to Collins. I wouldn't go Verbruggen on free hit. I'd rather go Martinez if I was doing that, I think. I don't know if I'd have the money. If you want to go back 4, back 5 on it, absolutely. You could go double City defence. You could go double Villa defence. You could go double Brentford defence. Yep. You could definitely look at a back 4, back 5. Am I definitely free hitting? The free hit is active. I do not feel comfortable about it, but the benefit is game week 14 starts on Tuesday. So if it goes horribly, I can look at the next game week pretty quick. Honestly, people keep asking me, Harry, how many points do you want from your free hit compared to your normal team? And I said 1 more point. Literally 1 point is all I asked for. I actually then changed it and I'd say 4 because that's the cost of the transfer that you're losing effectively. But as long as that's basically all I ask for, which is probably not the best mindset, but you're going to feel like that pretty much every week because you're taking out players that you trust more because you own them for players that you don't trust, but you like them because of their fixture. If I have value in Mbeumo, would I swap for Gakpo? I'd rather have Gakpo than Mbeumo on free hit, but you just hit the button. Thoughts on the side which has Szoboszlai, Salah and Van Dijk. You must be crazy. I don't hate those picks, to be honest. I think they're all fine. Like, if you're going Van Dijk on a free hit, West Ham are dreadful from defending set pieces. I have absolutely no problem with that. People are laughing. Wazim saying 2 Liverpool players on a free hit with a laughing face. You should have seen my free hit draft that had 3 of them. That really would be pushing people over the edge of thinking I'm taking this seriously or not. But yeah, this is where we're at. This is basically the draft I've had all week. I just got to hope everyone plays, because the other benefit to going Szoboszlai is it could give me a good first sub. Like, Gakpo to Szoboszlai puts $1 million in the bank, and then I can at least do a Stev to like someone else, or Mark Guiu to someone else. That's the only benefit to going with like Szoboszlai as well. If someone was to get injured and not play, like let's say Pep starts Aït-Nouri, right? And then O'Reilly doesn't even come on the pitch. Then what? Then I'm in trouble, right? So that's the only other benefit to like Szoboszlai over Gakpo, because my bench will play 90 minutes for a Stev, and then outside of that, I'll be lucky if Mark Guiu gets on the pitch. It probably won't. That's the thing. Yeah. Anyway, I don't feel comfortable with it at all. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you could tell with my content through the week, or with this. I do not feel comfortable free hitting this week, but that's because I like to do things in FPL that means you've got, I don't know how to put it, where like the chips are played in the obvious weeks where there's an obvious benefit to have. And I just, there's no sort of week where there's going to be a massive benefit, I don't think. Because this is the best week for me to do it. And that is, at the end of the day, the reason I've done it. It's the best week for me to do it. Because I'm going to feel that the same every week. So that's where we're at. Who is the Pivas guy? No, I needed a 3.8 defender because I've got no money in the bank with this draft, and I just picked one. Because unless anyone thinks that a 3.8 defender is actually going to get any minutes for their club, then please do shout. But it looks like none of them will. All players, defenders, 3 point. If I sort by minutes played. Oh. Where is minutes played there? Oh, you can't see again. So Estev's played the most. The highest 3.8 defender is Heaven, and he's played 28 minutes this season. And he hasn't and they were all in one game against Brighton. So, like, there are none of them. Lucas Pires, has he played? Does he come on like... Oh, we played 9 minutes against West Ham. Wow. Nathaniel Klein. Like, this is what I mean. Like, none of them even get anywhere near the squad, let alone the pitch. Is Heaven on the bench for United? Because if he's on the bench, then I could at least go with him. Because I don't even know who Pivas is. I don't even know if he's registered. Giandre, let me take a look. Start DCL with Senesi first sub, or is there a chance DCL plays off the bench? There's a very good chance he plays off the bench. Yeah, I'd just start Senesi over DCL. Yes. Semenyo or Rice. Rice is in a different form and good for DEFCONs, while Semenyo is just returning. Also, would I prefer Van Dijk or Senesi this week? This week, I'd prefer Van Dijk over Senesi. And if I had to pick one this week, I'd have Semenyo over Rice. Heaven's going out on loan soon. Oh, well. That basically is none of... Yeah. This is the thing, and like it happens always when there's a free hit week, is that all the free hits do end up looking very similar. But that's because the state of the fixtures, right? You're going to want 3 City, you're going to want 2 or 3 Villa, you're going to want 3 Brentford, and if you're on free hit, you're probably going to punt on Liverpool. So unless you're going, I mean, there are other picks, of course, but there is a reason I think all the drafts are looking pretty similar. Ronaldo, yeah, but he's 4 million and I don't have the budget for that. I don't have the budget. I don't have the money for it. Handy, Luca Dean, Salah and Anderson, or Timber, Gakpo, Bruno. I'd go Dean, Salah, Anderson probably. Why going to Liverpool while we know their poor form? Because they've actually, I think in the last 6 games, they've had something like 10 XG compared to 6 for the opposition. Yeah. Last spot on free hit, go for Gakpo, Sharda or Foden. I mean, I would want at least 2 of those. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Foden. Will I lose money? Yeah. So when you get your team back, any effective price changes that has happened to your normal team while you're being on free hit, you'll just get all of those price changes next week. So when your team loads, you'll have the price they are now. 2 free hits this season, yes. So for anyone a little bit uncertain about why there's so much talk about free hit and triple captain this week, it's because we get 2. You have one from game week 1 to 19 and another from game week 20 to 38. So just like the wild card is traditionally, we have one in the first half, one in the second half. That's now the same for every single one of the chips. Yeah. Giandre, I think on free hit, Dango and Bruno or Sharda and Gakpo. I think Sharda's better than Dango personally, so I'd go with that route. Go for 3.9 goalkeeper and then get Ronaldo first sub. I could do that, but just in case something was to happen to Kelleher, I think. The other way I could free up money and go a bit different. Again, if you want a bit of something different, go for Luca Dean over Matty Cash. Go for Mateus Nunes over O'Reilly. Go for Dango Atara over Kevin Sharda. Go for Doku over Foden. Go for Szoboszlai over Gakpo. Like, these are small changes, but is a big difference. Dango's good, only bench when they play a back 5. Yes, but if you look at, so Kevin Sharda, right? XGI 0.36 and plays 90 pretty much every game apart from a couple where he's been taken off early. Okay. Watch me be proved wrong. But Dango Atara here. Often taken off early, right? 64, 74, 75. Didn't start. Okay, they played about 5, but 74, 83. Similar XGI per 90. So it's close. It's pretty close. If they played the same minutes, then maybe Dango's better, but 3 goals, 2 assists. I think I just pick Sharda as a slightly better pick. I think it's close though. Cool. Just the other thing to talk about is next week, because it is a really quick turnaround. And as soon as the deadline passes, people will be looking at 14. The big thing for me is Senesi. He's on 4 yellows. I could really do with him not getting booked against Sunderland, because I could really do with him. I don't need him past the Everton game, but I really need him for Everton. I really need him for Everton. Yeah, so if all goes well, I'll probably roll. I am concerned about Richards not starting away at Burnley. Definitely am concerned. The rest of them, Enzo, there is a slight concern with Chelsea, but Enzo's probably the most likely of all the attackers to play all the games. If Senesi is suspended, I have a bit of a problem, because I want to go to Timber from that spot or Munoz, and I can't do that without downgrading someone else for a hit. So, like, part of me would just say, let's just take like Anderson Defcon for a week or something like that. Yeah. That's if the worst thing I'd say that could happen to my team this week is Senesi getting a yellow card and no one else having a problem. Because at least if Senesi got a yellow and someone else had a problem, I could sell them both for a hit. Like, I could do Senesi to Timber. Like, I've looked at this, Senesi to Timber and like Enzo to Anderson. The issue is Enzo's not the one I want to sell, but he's, sorry, why do I put Kulusevski in there? He's not the one I want to sell, but he's probably the one I'd most want to sell next week. Like, I can't sell Saar before Burnley. So to get that money, the only obvious place to do it would be Enzo, I think. Semenyo, potentially. Like, if I decide to keep Mateta, I could sell Semenyo, but selling him before Everton at home doesn't feel particularly sensible. So I just got to hope Senesi doesn't get booked. And hope Munoz does. It will probably be the other way around. Triple captain this week or 17. If you're not playing a chip, I probably would triple captain this week, because it's better the devil you know, better than devil you don't. I think there's very much to pick, but little to pick between them. And you never know when you might get to 17. Let's say Haaland picks up a knock or he plays 90 in the midweek before. You never know, right? Whereas at least we feel pretty confident about what we're going to get from City this weekend. I think if everything goes completely smoothly, I think 17 is maybe very marginally better, but I don't think there's enough in it to probably save it, especially with the injuries that Leeds have got in midfield. So Boslai is expected to probably play back in the number 10 again. Yeah. Who do I bench? Anderson as the midfielder and Dye, Minter, Mateta. Minter or Mateta, probably. Enze or Shada for Ndai. Drop one of Timber, Van der Ven, Senesi and Munoz. If I had to bench one of them, it would be Timber or Senesi, depending on what you think of Arsenal defence this week. And Eze or Shada for Ndai. Long term, I probably prefer Eze, but this week, Shada. Thoughts on Bruno in free hit? I think it's fine. Like, Bruno's never a bad pick in any week, and as a penalty taker and a player who's very involved, he's never an issue. I'm just, yeah. It's not that exciting on a free hit, but he's never an issue. No space for another Villa. I could. It would be a defender, I think. Like, I could go Luca Dean over O'Reilly and then go Gakpo to Doku, but I like O'Reilly having the attacking threat that he has as well as the defence. You think Foden is the weakest pick being overlooked? I don't think his data's that great, but he does get a couple of big chances most games. So yeah, free hit for me this week. Right. I am going to drop the stream in subscriber only mode as we do with the final hour of the stream. You literally have to have subscribed for 1 second to be able to start using the chat once again. If you aren't subscribed, then please do. But also, if you haven't liked the stream already, thank you very much for the 1,000 of you who have. To the 6,000 of you who haven't, please could you drop a like on the stream? That would be much appreciated. And all of those wondering about subscribing to the channel, Christmas is a very busy period of FPL, right? We've got Tuesday deadline, then we've got Saturday. Then we have all the game weeks over New Year, all the game weeks over Christmas. I will be here every single deadline. That Boxing Day deadline at 6 o'clock in the evening, I will be here. Every couple of days, there's a deadline. There'll be videos pretty much every day next week. There'll be a Monday video, a Tuesday video, probably a Thursday, Friday. There'll be so much. If you haven't subscribed and you're wondering about it, if you please could, that would be great. I promise to make the content worth your while, or do my best to. I'll do my best. If I had the money, would I make some adjustments to my team? If I had money now, I think the only place I'd look to invest it is making my bench better. I'd try and have something on my bench in case someone didn't play. Van de Ven, I quite like this week. Fulham's goal threat is never that great. Like, I don't see them putting loads past people. I think Spurs were better midweek. Van de Ven, we know what he can do from set pieces. We've seen him do it already so far this season. I don't hate the Van de Ven punt. I actually had Van de Ven on the bench in my draft earlier on in the week. How tall am I? Like 6'1"? Which people tell me is tall, but I thought, like, when I was growing up, I didn't think I was tall. I don't think I'm that tall. I think I'm like just normal height, but I don't know. Why am I backing Munoz against United? I feel like no Palace is a bit of a risk, and probably the risk I feel the most that could do really well. And Munoz combines a bit of attacking threat with the clean sheets. I always thought you were short. Yeah, people say that. I don't. Do I? I mean, 6'1" is well above average. Oh well. Thanks, I guess. Palace never win after the Europa League games. I think United haven't scored against Palace in 3 or 2 years, and have lost every game, I think. You'd go Martinez over Kelleher. He's only blanked twice this season, though. It was 3 times. Away at Arsenal, away at West Ham, and at home to Liverpool. You haven't won at Selhurst Park since 2019. So that's why he's in there. He is one of the... What is 6'1" in centimeters? I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, I have wondered about just going like Luca Dean or going Collins and going Martinez in goal or something like that. I have wondered about all of these. Collins or Munoz. I mean, I've got Munoz, but I would want a Brentford defender in there. Any City news? No, I haven't seen anything as of yet. Good morning, Adam. Or good afternoon now. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, nothing City yet. One sec. Sorry, am I frozen? Sorry, I do that. I'm prone to freezing. If I had to choose between a defender Munoz or striker Isak, which would I pick? If I had to pick between Munoz and Isak, I'd pick Isak. But they're not a straight swap, I don't think. Well, they're not. It depends what it does for the rest of your team. Marlon's on fire. Yes, when he plays up front on his own without Watkins, but it's not every week. And I'm pretty certain Watkins will start. Yeah. What is Watkins down to? I can't get to him from Gakpo, though. Triple Captain Haaland, who should I start? Semenyo or Reinders? I'd start Semenyo, regardless, I think. Yeah. If I could do Watkins over Gakpo, I probably would. But he hasn't dropped in price that much since the start of the season. 8.5. Yeah, I'm a million short, which is like Munoz. Surprisingly, Munoz to Luka Dean, but then I wouldn't have the... it would have to be like Munoz to... I don't know. So... I'm not going to go Watkins, though. I don't think. Is there any reason to keep Enzo Fernandez with Palmer being back? Yes. Enzo Fernandez has been a good pick last season, even when Palmer's available. His minutes are good. Yeah, I don't think Palmer being back massively changes Enzo. Enzo became a better pick when Palmer was out, particularly because of set pieces and pens, but also he was playing in the 10 a lot. He's still a good pick, even if those things don't apply. He's not quite as good. That is fair. Maybe I'm underestimating the impact, but yeah. He's still... If you want a piece of the Chelsea team, then he's the one I'd pick now. Like, long term, I'm not sure Palmer's worth the money, and the other attackers are difficult to predict. So, yeah. I still think Enzo's fine long term. Thoughts on Mukiele on the bench? Absolutely fine. If you've got someone with a slightly better fixture than Estev on the bench, then yep, that's fine. I just don't have the money to upgrade it. Why not Rolf? So looking at the projections for clean sheets, you've got Brentford, City and Villa. Crystal Palace is my last one. They're low at 27%. They're below Arsenal. But I would say Munoz is probably the most likely defender in the game to score. Liverpool are 30, so you could go with someone like a Virgil van Dijk. Spurs are at 30, or you double up. Like, that's why I wonder about Luka Dean instead of Munoz. It's just Luka Dean's minutes, which are a bit of a put off. Yeah. I do wonder about Luka Dean and over Munoz. You're 0.2 short from this draft. I mean, Gakpo or Munoz would be the ones that I'd bin. You could also do cash to Luka Dean. Would give you 0.1 of that as well. Is Ndai being overlooked? I don't mind him this week at home to Newcastle. Newcastle not great away from home. I still expect that to turn around at some point though. Luka Dean will 100% get subbed off for Maatsen. Yeah, the only thing to mention though is Maatsen played 90 midweek. He played 90 on Thursday, and which means, and actually Luka Dean, if he gets subbed off after 65 minutes, that's not an issue. Like, that's fine if you're a defender, but yeah, I suppose it could happen before that. But Maatsen playing 90 midweek is probably enough to give me some vote of confidence in Luka Dean playing enough minutes this weekend, but maybe it's not enough. If I wasn't on free hit, I would not be selling Semenyo this week, because I think short term he's still a good pick. As I've said, I've got to make a decision in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of game weeks, the next week of real life, of selling Semenyo, Mateta or Enzo in order to buy Thiago, and one of those has got to go. I think I'm more inclined to sell Mateta, but he's also Enzo's probably the easiest. But why are you playing all the starting 11 safe? I mean, it's about the combination of players that you own, right? The percentage of actual players on free hit is not that high this week, and the percentage of people who own all the combination of the players that you do is also much lower than you think it's going to be. Like Gakpo will be like 10% owned at my rank. Similar with Sharda and Rogers. I don't expect they'll get that high, even with the amount of people on free hit this week. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Reinders was to start, it could change things a little bit, but I think I'd still want Foden. It'd be more a chance of O'Reilly being the one that I'd drop. Watkins is definitely being mentioned. It's just he's slightly more expensive than a lot of the picks. Is basically where we're at. Yeah, why not Saka over Salah? Surely Arsenal are favourites to beat Chelsea. Yeah, they probably are. Marginally though. Liverpool are more favourites than Arsenal this weekend. Whether you agree with that or not is a different thing. Why not Rolfs? I mean, I still back Bournemouth. Like Sunderland. I think are a little bit overrated at the moment. They are 10th for XGC this season, 9th over the last 6. Like it's all right, but it's still nothing special. They're playing Bournemouth, who are 7th for XG this season. I think it's fine, but I don't think I'd have him on free hit. I don't think I'd have him on free hit. Do I consider Marlon? Yeah, I don't think he's guaranteed to start. You can't choose between Munoz and Luca Dean. It is a decision that I'm also wondering about. Right, let's have a look at this. He's had 3 assists this season. Like, it's just not very inspiring, but it is probably a better fixture. I think I'm going to go Munoz. I think I'm going to... Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've been playing this game long enough to know never to pick Luca Dean as well. Basically. That is true. Yeah, people asking on City. There's nothing on Twitter at the moment, but we're still 40 minutes away from the deadline, so we will see. No Spurs. I do. It is really interesting. There are some very differing opinions on certain teams this week. Like Palace United is a big one. Like I've seen people asking why I've got Munoz and not Bruno, and then people saying that I need to have more Palace like an Ismail Assar, and that's the same with other ones like Spurs, like Liverpool. There's a lot of differing opinions on certain teams, which is good because it means if you disagree with people and you think my free hit is really not very good, and yeah, if you think my free hit is really not good and you're going something completely different, then you're probably going to outscore it. But yeah, kind of depends how you feel on a couple of the games. Is there any leaks? No, nothing as of yet on anything. Nope. There are quite a few games at the same time, but we don't really get any leaks for any of the other teams. So Brentford, City, Bournemouth. The only thing is Semenyo, but Semenyo has posted on Instagram this morning. He posted a match day graphic on Instagram, which is always normally a positive sign. Just always a positive sign. Who would I place Gatfro for? 0.1 short. Szoboszlai, probably. Is it nonsense to consider Van Dijk over Munoz? Absolutely not. West Ham are not good at defending set pieces. I don't have an issue with the Van Dijk pick at all. Semenyo posted it last week after the game had started, or like just as it went to kick off, whereas this week it's a lot earlier. So it's not guaranteed, but last week it was like right before kickoff, whereas now it's like quite a long way before, which like Enzo does it as well. If Enzo's going to start, he tends to post. Yeah. But the thing with last week with Semenyo is he did it after the FPL deadline though. So he did it right before kickoff rather than a long way before. But yeah, it doesn't guarantee that he's going to play. Double Villa defence is absolutely fine, yep. Can you not afford Martinez? I can't, but I want a Brentford defender. Yeah. I mean, Wolves and Burnley are both, not great this week. So I'm happy with one of the other and just spread the risk a little bit. I know some people would say you should go all in on a free hit and own triple Villa defence and triple Brentford attack. And you could do that. Right? You could go Kelleher to Martinez and Rodgers to Dango. That's also fine. I quite like that, actually, just thinking about it. Yeah. You're captaining Foden as a punt. So the reason I don't like this, and I never really like captaining against the popular captain in the same game, is what you're saying is you think City are going to score loads of goals and it not be Haaland. And that's not a bet that I'd like to make. If you want to make a bet that you go, I think Liverpool are going to score more goals than City, and or Salah's going to score more than Haaland or Thiago, then I like that more. But trying to back City to score goals and it to be Foden and not Haaland is not something I particularly like to make. So yeah, that's where we're at. Is Gakpo better than Salah? No, I don't think so. If I could only own one Liverpool, it would be Salah. Salah's the first in. And I know he's not been great, but it's one fixture. And if there's any Liverpool player who's going to score, it's still probably Salah is the most likely, I'd say. Maybe you'd say Isak if he's going to start, but I still would take Salah. Holly's just sent me what transfers she's done. She did. Still had Gabriel. So she did Gabriel to Lacroix, Grealish to Saka, and she sold Van Dijk. She sold Van Dijk to Williams of Forest. She had enough of Van Dijk after 1 week and bought Williams of Forest. To be fair, she did need Williams to free up the money. She needed the money. But yeah, those are her three. Had three free transfers. And she's triple captain Haaland. That's what she's doing. I expect Isak to start tomorrow with the injury to Ekitike, yeah. You're stuck between Virgil van Dijk and Munoz. How close do I think it is? I think it's very close. I think actually if you didn't buy Van Dijk in 12, you're more likely to go for Van Dijk on free hit, whereas all of us who owned Van Dijk last week are like, I don't want that. No thanks. So that's probably why I don't have him. But I don't mind Van Dijk. I do not mind the Van Dijk pick. And I know it might sound crazy, but yeah. Have I considered who is the highest ceiling, Doku or O'Reilly, as the third City pick? Doku has a higher ceiling than O'Reilly. Yeah. But does Doku and a worse defender versus O'Reilly Gakpo as an example? Like if I was to drop a midfielder, it would be Gakpo. So I'd rather the combination. Pope should play. There is a small chance that they drop him because he's been pretty bad. And the Newcastle fans, I was talking to a Newcastle fan yesterday and they would drop him, but I don't think he will be. Yeah. Isn't there a fear O'Reilly gets benched with Onori back fully fit? Nori has been back fully fit for about 3-4 weeks, a month. And he started midweek and he played so badly that he got hooked at half time. So, I mean, it's possible. And if Nori starts, like let's say we got to the deadline and we got a leak that Nori started. How much is he? I'm guessing I can't just do one for the other. I'd probably have to find money to do... He's 5'7". Yeah, I mean, imagine. Nori starts. Could you imagine? If Nori did start, I'd sell Gakpo. And I'd do Gakpo to Szoboszlai and I'd get the money and I'd upgrade O'Reilly to 8. I probably wouldn't go Nori, to be honest, just because he got hooked at half time midweek. I wouldn't rule out that happening again. Like I probably would go Gvardiol and just take the safety, I think. Or I do Gakpo to Szoboszlai and go, or Gakpo to Doku and go O'Reilly to Van Dijk, something like that. I could go Cherky. That's another option. Yeah, I expect Cherky to start. I could do Foden to Doku to get the money. That's also possible. Yeah, I expect Doku to start. We don't have any early news yet. I expect Doku, Foden, Cherky all to start. Yeah. Chill, Harry. Was that a glitch or what? I don't know. Just what happens when you've been talking for an hour and a half. That's what happens. Cherky's the one. I do like the Cherky punt. Yeah, I do. I like Cherky. To be honest, part of me thinks the Cherky punt is better than the Doku punt. Because the Doku punt feels like I'm trying to find a punt, but he's also not a punt because loads of people have him and he's really obvious. But the Cherky punt feels like a real punt. Like you're picking a player who no one else has got. And yeah, just looks like a great pick, basically. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Half an hour to go until the deadline. An early reminder, just for everyone watching, that the next deadline is Tuesday. Please don't miss it. And it is not 6:30, it is 6 o'clock. It's an earlier half an hour one because there's a 7:30 game. Yeah. Minter over Gakpo. I don't mind it. I like Minter as a pick, yeah. Van Dijk or Munoz. I mean, Munoz I prefer, probably, but I don't mind Van Dijk. Liverpool is going to lose. This is a big risk. Yeah, Liverpool could well lose again. But if I had to pick which team I think wins that game, I think Liverpool are more likely to win than lose. Bench 1, Van Dijk, Mark Guéhi, Senesi. If I do Gabriel to O'Reilly. I'd probably bench... Van Dijk I'd definitely play. Mark Guéhi or Senesi. I'd be tempted to bench Senesi there, but I probably would bench Mark Guéhi, the Palace against United. Alternatives to Gakpo, Szoboszlai, Elliot Anderson, Gibbs White, Minter, going for a Doku, going Gravenberch. There's lots in there. I was interested to see as well, Caicedo dropped in price last night. He was down to 6 million. It was almost like he wasn't going to score 20 goals this season. Now, if he drops enough back down again, I might look to buy him because I think he's actually a good pick, but I just didn't want to pay that much money for him. But I am all aboard the Elliot Anderson train giving me money to do what I want. I'm all aboard it. And I don't know when it's going to happen. Because if I get to here, reset. So if I did Enzo to Anderson, I don't think it gives me the money. I need to check this. Anderson and Senesi to Timber. And then Oh, it does, but then I've got to keep... I've got Sarr instead of him, so then I have to find a Sarr replacement who at the same price. I mean, it could be Sharda. I could go short term on Sharda. Leeds at home. Bruno Guimaraes is a really interesting one. He's been very good at home. Szoboszlai, if he's looking better. Brighton at home, Wolves at home, Leeds at home. So it could be Enzo. Could be Enzo. It's not the end of the world if I have to sell him. But then I'm also selling Mateta. Yeah, if I want to keep Mateta, then I can't sell Enzo. Yeah. That's basically it. Play Enzo or Reinders. I'd probably play Reinders and hope he starts. Would I? Would I take the minutes? I think I'd be inclined to play Reinders and hope he starts. How would I fit Isak into this team? If I'm honest, I mean, it's probably Gakpo out to someone really cheap and Foden to Doku. Still don't think that gives me enough. I think I'm still like a million short of that, in which case Sharda to Dango Atara or Munoz to a cheaper Munoz to Luka Dean are probably the ways that I'd free up the money. Semenyo looks like he's going to be okay. Apparently he returned to training earlier on in the week and they're just monitoring him. Yeah. There's no team leaks on anything as of yet, no. There's nothing yet. What about Welbeck? Yep, quite nice. My brother actually bought Welbeck this week. He sold João Pedro and he already had Thiago, so he went Welbeck. I quite like Welbeck. His minutes should be all right. I just slight concern for him in the midweek game, but I think he should be okay. Gakpo, are you missing something? I mean, his attacking threat is not bad. Depends how Wirtz is getting on. I mean, if Wirtz is back in the squad, it does put me off him a little bit. Like if Wirtz is back on the bench, does that make Gakpo worse? Probably. Is Gakpo going to be the one who's taken off? Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's Gakpo or Szoboszlai, I think, for me. Basically. No team leaks or anything as of yet, no. Any specific reason to go for Kelleher Munoz over Martinez, Van den Berg? No, I'm not sure I love the double up on Villa that much. I don't mind it, but yeah, it's a no from me. I don't think. I like Munoz. If I've got the money for it, then I'm happy with it. And again, if I needed money, I could just do Munoz to Dean. Maybe that's what I'd do. If O'Reilly didn't start, maybe I'd just do Munoz to Luka Dean to get the money to upgrade O'Reilly. Yeah. One of my members who's a Liverpool fan just sent me a message saying it's got to be Szoboszlai over Gakpo. Gakpo is the spot I don't love as much, and it would give me a better bench. What's the likelihood Cherki starts? Pretty high. Pretty high. Let me have a look at that. Hang on. Let me have a look at Szoboszlai's data. I mean, it is just worse, but then he has played a lot of minutes at right back. Any Liverpool fans in the chat want to know, let me know who they'd go out of these two. Because that would allow me to do like... I could then do this. And then at least I've got some sort of first sub. Sobbo. Nick, let me take a look. Minter, Sharda, Gakpo, pick 2 and why. This week I dropped Minter, but long term I dropped Gakpo. Gakpo's more goal threat. Gravenberch, Sobbo. The game's not till tomorrow, so we're not going to get any update on Liverpool. It's just of... If Wirtz is back, he often comes on for Gakpo now. Can't really take Soberslai off. Dango and Foden or Doku and Rodgers. Dango and Foden or Doku and Rodgers. I prefer Dango and Foden. Martinez, is this worth Anderson? JP, let me take a look. Is this worth Anderson for Salah or keep Saka, Semenyo over them? Martinez, Cash, Munoz, O'Reilly, Sharda, Anderson, Foden. Is it worth Anderson for Salah or keep Saka, Semenyo over him? If I don't mind Anderson getting you Salah, I'd rather that, I think. In case Gibbs White's not play, easy Eze, Minter or Sarr bench number 1. Probably Minter this week. Szoboszlai's minutes are better. Szoboszlai could play right back. He could, yeah. It's just if Wirtz is back. It's just if Wirtz is back. Which it sounds like he probably is going to be. Any chance he... I'm asking the Liverpool fan who said he I mean, he thinks the thing is though, Liverpool fans think he's going to play centre mid again. But what happens if he plays right back? My members are having a big chat at the moment about Liverpool, about which players to pick. I'm just eyeing it up. There's a lot of Liverpool fans in there. Would I start Mateta or Anderson? If you've got Mateta, you start him. Wirtz defo doesn't start. Yeah, I don't think he does start, but he could play in... he could come off the bench for him again. Why Caicedo over Senesi, Mark Gay? I just think it's a great fixture for Caicedo to get DEFCON, and I'm not sure the clean sheets come for the other guys. Keep Gakpo. Interesting. The latest on Gibbs White is we do expect him to be available. Let's just go back to the team for a minute. Szoboszlai expected an attack and return every 4 games. Surely not. I mean, yeah, but I think Rodgers and Kevin Sharda are not much better than that. It's just the minutes, really. It's just with Wirtz potentially being back. Like, if Slot wanted to change something, Is Gakpo one of the ones at risk? I could just go someone else and not go Liverpool, but I feel like Gakpo's more at risk, whereas Szoboszlai's not if he wants to change something. But like, who's going to play at that position? It's probably Wirtz or it's Chiesa, but bro, Foden and Szoboszlai or Doku, Gakpo. Gakpo, Foden, Szoboszlai. Yeah. Any United? No. Team news for United definitely won't. They're not here. They're not playing today. They don't play until tomorrow. But Cunha is out, so yeah, it does. That also does make them worse. Yeah, maybe that makes me realize what I actually think of Gakpo as a pick. Let me put it in and let me see how I feel about it. Let me see. Hang on. Make transfers. I can make as many as I want. To Luka Dean and Szoboszlai in. It does make me feel slightly more comfortable with Dean first sub. I could go Paulinia. You could, yeah. If you want a differential on free hit, yeah. Not against that. He'll put Ekatike left wing and Isak striker. There is just a risk to Gakpo. Yeah. I don't know. I think Gakpo still starts, but yeah. Yeah. That's clear what I think of Gakpo, isn't it? Watch him go and score if I don't have him now. Get Martinez and Vandenberg instead of Cash and Kelleher. I quite like Cash's attacking threat, though. 3 goals this season. Are there no City leaks at the moment? No. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone who's joining. Thank you all very much. We've just hit 10,000 of you. Hello, hello, hello. Where did that come from? Good afternoon to you all. I hope you're doing well. You're 0.9 short of this draft. I mean, Luka Dean down to someone really cheap is probably the easiest way to free up some money. City leaks are rare these days. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, someone's just tagged me in one, but I have them blocked, so that doesn't mean anything to me. The easiest way to know whether someone's reliable or not, and that's what I do every week. If someone's leaking stuff and they get it wrong, they basically instantly get blocked. So then as soon as someone tags me in something and I see them, I'm like, oh, they're blocked. So, yeah. How do I feel about Marlon for Minter? I'm not certain Marlon's going to start. And even when he does start, he often plays on the wing when it's Watkins starting. So I'm just not sure it's that good for him. Like, he often, when he plays on the wing with Watkins, he's not as good, is what I'm trying to say in a much shorter period of words. But yeah. Right, let's crack on, shall we? Van Dijk or Mateta? This week, if I had to pick one, I still have Mateta, but I don't mind Van Dijk. Why not Declan Rice? Could go there. I am just taking on some changes, but yeah. I'm going against a lot of the popular teams this week. I don't mind Declan Rice on free hit. Yes. Who asked me? PRPR, let me take a look. Start Senesi, Mukiele or Van de Ven. You're starting Semenyo. Okay, well, Van de Ven definitely starts. It's then Mukiele or Senesi. And because you're playing Semenyo, I'd probably be more inclined just to play Senesi and hope you get it right. Yeah. Thoughts on Palmer, anyone? I don't think Palmer will start, and it's too expensive to take that risk, I think. Yeah. Would I take a hit to buy O'Reilly? Probably not. Probably not. And die over Semenyo. No, probably not. I think I prefer Semenyo over and die this week. Doku's going to cook. He may well do. He may well. Interesting. The poll is 60% free hit, 25% triple captain, 5% wild card or bench boost, and like 10% no chip. Chip activation this week is very high. Very high. Eze over Gakpo on free hit. I don't mind it. Like all these midfield punts, they're all fine. It's just trying to get the one that you think does well. You know what's going to happen now? You know how Luca Dean is a troll? Now that I've got him on my bench, it means he's probably going to do something because that's the type of troll behavior that Luca Dean likes to go around with. Not free hit, wildcard last week. Fernandes for Gakpo or Sharda. I wouldn't sell Fernandes to either of those. I'd keep Fernandes long term. If I had to buy one, I'd buy Sharda over Gakpo. Best way to free up, just downgrade Luca Dean, Virgil and Kelleher, or Collins and Martinez. Collins, Martinez, probably. Harry, bench one. Mateta, Sarr, Rice, Semenyo, Enzo. Probably Enzo. Yeah. This is where we're at. Oh, the drinking's really annoying. All right, I apologize. Sorry, I got to stay hydrated, though. Got to stay hydrated. You've got this team with 1.5 million in the bank. I mean, you could try and find a way to put Isak in. Is probably what I'd do. I've gone Szoboszlai over Gakpo just because with the minutes he has played, plus Wirtz potentially being back and Liverpool fans calling for change in their lineup, I've gone with him. And when he plays number 10, he is a decent pick. So I think I'm going to go Szoboszlai. I don't know whether it's the right thing to do. But it also gives me Luca Dean first sub, which makes me feel slightly more comfortable. Maybe I shouldn't consider that, but yeah. Are you avoiding Newcastle because they're away? They've not been good away from home, and still predicting points in Newcastle is still pretty difficult to do. Like who's going to get them and trying to predict a clean sheet. But yeah. Watch Gakpo score. Yeah. Nailed on. You do double Villa and triple City attack. What defenders would I go with? One Villa then, if you're only going two. And then Brentford probably. Is Szoboszlai 4 yellows? Yeah, I don't think they can risk just taking him off, though. I don't think they can just risk taking him off. Maybe I just go back to Gakpo. Changing stuff at the last minute never works. Triple captain Haaland if you're not on free hit this week, yeah. Yeah. Is Watkins not nailed? Watkins is. He's just slightly more expensive. It's 50-50 between them. Yeah, it feels that way. Buy O'Reilly or Ruben Diaz. I'd buy O'Reilly. Do I need Foden to cover the free hitters? No, if you're not on free hit, I probably wouldn't buy Foden. What more than Brentford, Villa? Then Palace, Arsenal, the usuals, to be honest. Why not free hit next week? It just felt like it worked better for my team to do it next week. On free hit, looking to differentiate. Stick with Haaland as captain or roll the dice. If free hit should be differential enough, I would still stick the captaincy on armband. What percentage did I put? He's at play 60 plus. Quite high. Sobbo will be subbed as he's on 4 yellows. I think winning this game is more important. It will just be... He probably won't play at right back. He's a minutes monster, though. Semenyo in a free hit or Gakpo? I'd go Gakpo over Semenyo. Martinez penalty save. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Sobbo will definitely play right back. Interesting. Haaland for triple captain or no? Yes, if you've still got it, I would do that. I would play it. Yep. You have 0.7 in the bank with Szoboszlai. Who would I upgrade? I probably wouldn't. I just leave it. Maybe you could go with Martinez in goal and go Collins over Cash or something like that. But you're just making their sideways. Rice over Gakpo Szoboszlai. Not on free hit for me. Long term, yes, but on free hit, no. Start Enzo or Anderson of Fulham. I'd start Enzo, I think, out of those. Yeah. Because I don't think Palmer will start, so I think Enzo will be in the 10 again. May as well upgrade a Stev. Do I have money in the bank? I've got 0.2. The Szoboszlai spot is troubling me. You support Liverpool. It's either Szoboszlai. Do you think Gomez could play right back? Any chance they play Gomez at right back? Yeah, I know it's either Jones or Szoboszlai, but he can't keep putting his best player at right back. Surely he can't do that. Or his most informed player. Gomez struggling for fitness still. Gakpo takes 4. Szoboszlai. Have to go with Szoboszlai. There's so many. I don't know. He won't be playing right back. Hang on. Let me just look at... Let me put him back in. I can't go Dango. I've already got a triple up. It's just, what is the situation with Wirtz? There's no team news on anything. There's nothing on City. So we're taking a gamble on their minutes. I'm not saying Wirtz is going to start, but a lot of fans are saying Gakpo's been rubbish, yeah. Yeah, it could easily come on. It's more that. It's just Gakpo or Szoboszlai. That's where we're at. That's the decision. I can't afford Isak. This is basically the decision. I've got 3 minutes to make it as well. I mean, his data is rubbish. I'm going to go Gakpo, I think. I think I'm just going to go... I mean, it was always the plan. That's where we're at. His data's rubbish because he is. No, Szoboszlai's great. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to stick with how it was originally. Yeah. Yeah, so is Foden's data, etc., etc. But yeah, we're going to leave it like that. Yeah. Watch Vert start. Stick to the plan. You had it for had it for a reason. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this. It is 1 minute to go until the deadline. We're into the final minute. That came around much quicker than possible. Go and check your teams. There is 1 minute to go to the deadline, so please check your teams. Make sure everything is where it should be. Go and take a look. Lock everything in. That is the free hit. The free hit is active. Game week 13. There we go. All done. We took Gakpo out and then we put Gakpo back in. Yeah. That's where we are. I don't know. What's the Szoboszlai score and Gakpo be benched? But anyway. That is going to be that. Szoboszlai will make you regret it, quite possibly. But I like Gakpo as a punt. That is it. The game is updating. Do I have any merch? I don't have any merch. If anyone is interested in merch, then I'll think about it. But no, I don't think there's much interest in FPL Harry merch. Szoboszlai free kick incoming. Maybe. Right, let me just take a screenshot of my team and let me go and post it. 1 second, everyone. And then we will have a look at Fantasy Challenge for this week. I have actually already picked my team. 1 second, everyone. Thank you all for joining, by the way. If you are heading off, thank you. And I hope you have a lovely weekend. We'll be back, of course, as a Tuesday deadline. Sorry, what's with the water every minute? Sorry. Almost went Sobo over. Let me just... There we go. One second. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. Right. I'm staying hydrated. Enough is enough. That's poor. Why the sudden change? Stick with Gakpo. I did stick with Gakpo. I almost went Szoboszlai. I did have Szoboszlai in my team, and then I took him back out again. Cool. Where are we? Oh, that was last week. Game week 13. Right. So +1 for every recovery. Maybe I should have gone with... Oh, I don't know. It's too late now anyway. This is where we're at. It's +1 for a recovery. So we've got Martinez in goal. We've got Coyote, Elliot Anderson, Bruno, Caicedo, and Haaland. Elliot Anderson with the captaincy. You get a point for every recovery you make. Yeah. So that's where we... yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Didn't make it to save your team. Ooh. Van Dijk, number 2 for recoveries. I could have gone Van Dijk, and maybe I should actually. And I don't have him in my team, so that's quite nice. I then don't have a Brentford player, but that's all right. We'll go with that. Just to add to the panic, you have the last minute feeling O'Reilly plays 45 minutes to ease Aït-Nouri back in. Well, I really hope that isn't the case. Right. I'm not sure where any of you have seen any of this team news. If you want to tag me in it on Twitter, please do, and I will take a look. But yeah, Aït-Nouri's not been good. You regret the free hit 5 minutes after the deadline. It's always going to be the case. Your mum passed away and we used to watch you together. Well, first of all, I'm incredibly sorry for your loss. I hope you're okay, and I hope that I can bring some sort of positive memory to you. But most importantly, I hope you're all right, and I'm very sorry for your loss. YouTube shows different prices when joining. It shouldn't do. It's the same. It might just be currency conversion or something, but it shouldn't do. We're almost at Christmas merch time. But yeah, I'm actually I haven't had anything really to eat today. So I'm actually going to wrap up the stream there, I think. And yeah, go and get some lunch. That is all from me. We'll be back on probably Sunday evening, although I am at the Chelsea game. And it might delay when I get the video out. So I'll let you know what the plan is. But have a lovely weekend, everyone. Good luck when the team news comes out. Hopefully everyone that we want from Man City starts. But who knows at this point? But good luck to you all. Thank you all for joining. And yeah, I will catch you all very soon.